Hello and welcome to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. I'm Brendan Lang along with Mike Karafilidis, Mikey K, two broadcasters for the Brampton Steelheads. You can catch us on Saga 960 AM every Sunday at 1 in the afternoon. Also, Trout Talk on YouTube. Check out the video component of it as well. You can also hear us on the Saga 960 website in the podcast form of this show. Mikey, thank you for being here today. And you know what? We had a couple preseason games that we saw from Brampton. One in Kitchener, one in Brampton against the Barrie Colts. We'll get to that in a second, though. But Mikey, how have you been doing?
Oh, good. It was football weekend, right? So saw my Cleveland Browns. Absolutely horrid. They make me sick.
That's
they
a
make
tough.
Me sick.
That's a tough situation, man.
You know what? Deshaun Watson came on the field. He's supposed to be the quarterback, whatever. Guys are wide open. He's throwing it at their feet. He's throwing it out of bounds. I mean, it was just a disgusting performance from Cleveland Browns. But I'm used to it. I don't get angry anymore. To tell you the truth. So I really did think they were gonna. Yeah, I really did think they were gonna do well. But they stink as usual. And the Cowboys blew them out. And I don't get mad. I don't get mad like I used to. And other than that, there's a dog that moved in. There's a dog. Okay, that just moved in. I don't know where, 2 doors down behind me, and it's out all day and all night, and all you hear. So here's me, everybody in the house. All of a sudden, I'm not kidding. At 1:30 in the morning. At 1:30 in the morning. So then I'm getting up. What the heck is going on? I look up. Okay, fine. The dog stops, right? Beautiful. I'm thinking everybody's going to wake up, right? Nope. Yeah. Half an hour later, I'm dying. I couldn't sleep. I don't know where this dog, I think it's 2 doors over there behind me, I think. So I'm trying, because there's a lot of dogs around the neighborhood, right? Hey, I love dogs. I'm a dog lover. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, you got your dog out there at 1:30 in the morning barking like crazy. I don't know. Maybe it was a watchdog and it was barking away coyotes or something. I don't know. But still, oh my gosh, the headaches I have from the Browns, from this dog, and whatever. So yeah. Anyway, other than that, very, very good.
I was gonna say, sounds like a tough week, Mikey.
Yes.
That's yeah. The Browns will be enough to make anybody insane, and then the dogs on top of that. It's a tough situation. Yeah, I mean, there's, besides the Browns, if we get back to Sunday in football, there was a few good games on the Sunday. The Bills had a close game against the Cardinals. I think closer than people expected it to be, but the Cardinals actually looked decent. They looked like they might have some. They look like the Kyler Murray back in his first action since he was hurt. He looked pretty good. So obviously, I'm sure we'll talk about football more on this this show as we go through it. But yeah, week 1 in the books. Thursday night. That's going to be Thursday night coming up. Bills again against the Dolphins should be a good one. And we'll see what how things go as we move through the season.
One overrated team that I'll tell you.
Let's hear it.
Well, the New York Jets.
Oh yeah.
The New York Football Jets. You know, they have the most primetime games this year.
Do they really?
The most primetime games. The most Sunday night games. The most Monday night games, whatever, Thursday night. They stink again. They lost to the 49ers absolutely blew them out, right? They played so good. Yeah, okay, you got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers talking this. He's saying we're going to be so good and whatever. They stink again. And they have the most primetime games. They're like, you know what? The Jets are like the Browns. They're cursed, right? Doesn't matter who they have. Something's going to happen. So, I don't know. I'm just saying. Overrated. If you're a Jets fan, overrated. If you're a Browns fan, keep your cool. Don't worry. Just be like me, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's just week 1, so we can't get too far into, what the teams are, but I would agree with you. The Jets, I mean, they didn't look very good. Yes, they have Aaron Rodgers. He's also 41 years old now. He's coming off a very difficult injury to come back from, no matter the age. So we'll see. I mean,
the guy lives in a cave.
Yeah, he's always down. He's doing some darkness retreats. He's probably sleeping in mud or something. I don't know what he's doing, but he likes to talk. He likes to make it about himself. So that he's going to be saying that they're going to be good, and I think it's almost a perfect situation for Rodgers. You know what? They didn't play that well. Obviously, you'd like to win, but nobody's blaming him for it. They're talking about him, and hey, he came back. He did well. Everyone's talking about the defense being bad. Everybody's talking about the coaching being bad. Nobody's talking about him not being good. So, he must love that. But we'll move past football here as we've gotten into it a little bit. That's good though. I like to start things off like that. But let's get into some hockey. Of course, we have some preseason OHL action that happened this past week. First was a game against the Kitchener Rangers in Kitchener. The Steelheads lose that one in a shootout. Mikey, you were there, of course, on the call. The Steelheads lose. Yeah, it's preseason. Probably not too big of a deal. But there was a big storyline in that game. Anthony Paolini getting in there. How was that to see?
You know what? I had a feeling. I'll tell you something. I had a feeling Anthony Paolini was going to get in the game. The Cookstown native. This was his. I think this was his first OHL action, actually, at least what I've seen, right? So Anthony Paolini, he's the third string goalie pretty much of this Steelheads team, just to explain. And Jacob Gibbons wasn't dressed. Jack Ivankovic started the game, and then Paolini came in maybe halfway through. I'll tell you something. Paolini played pretty well. He played pretty well against a pretty full Kitchener lineup. I mean, they dressed everybody. They dressed Trent Swick. They dressed Elenis. They dressed everyone except for, I think, Pugliese. I think their overager, I believe. But everybody except for him. So anyway, so Paolini, so he comes into the game, did very well. And they went to a shootout. Steelheads up 4-2. Yeah, they came back, make it 4-4. So everybody's in the corner videotaping them. And it was Reed Gee's idea to videotape him in the shootout, and he did well. Yeah, the Steelheads lost in a shootout, but good to see him in the game. And it was like Rudy, right? Like everybody remember that movie Rudy, right? And everybody cheers for this guy. And Anthony Paolini is such a good kid. He comes to the practices. He comes to everything, right? He's probably not gonna, be with the team that much, but he plays, I believe, Junior C or Junior B, whatever it is. But good for him. And it was nice to see him get in there. And he made a nice little play on a breakaway. I can't remember who came. Well, it was a Kitchener player came in on a shootout. He came out and poke checked him, just like a nice Johnny Bauer,
saw that
right?
one. Yeah,
it was beautiful.
And you called it out on the broadcast. You called it the Johnny Bauer poke check.
The Johnny Bauer, Anthony Paolini. It was awesome. I was so happy for him, right? So good to see him get in there. Really good kid. And so there was a loss, but it's preseason. What does preseason mean? It means getting the young guys in there. Steelheads really haven't dressed the full lineup at all, Brendan. We both know that, right? So there was a ton of guys out. Carson Rakoff didn't play again. Luke Misa didn't play that game as well. I mean, Kitchener had a full lineup, right? So that's the way she goes. It's either she goes or she doesn't go, so
this time she didn't go.
This time she didn't go in preseason, so it's just preseason. So it means nothing.
No, you're completely right, and I mean it means something to, of course, the young players to get in there and then get an opportunity to play. You're right. The wins and losses, though, at this point in the preseason, of course, they don't necessarily mean anything. Yeah,
but sorry, to just add on to the Kitchener game, one guy that scored a goal was Troy Patton.
Yeah,
the rookie for second round pick for the Steelheads, and he came down that wing. It was just a broken play. It was just a bouncing puck. He grabbed that puck inside, right on the right side, and he just blew it by Jackson Parsons. And it was just like, wow, this kid's got potential, a lot of potential. Troy Patton, the former Barrie Junior Colts second round pick, great kid, and he played really well. Really impressed with him.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen one game so far in the preseason. You've seen all three, of course, but yeah, he impressed me in that game as well. Looks like somebody that will probably get a chance to be in the lineup at different points this year, and definitely somebody who looks like he has some potential moving forward. So that was that game against the Kitchener Rangers. Of course, the wins and loss not mattering too much. It was 5-4 in favor of Kitchener, the final in that one. And then we also had a game the next day that was on Saturday, and we saw the Steelheads against the Barrie Colts. That was their second game in Brampton. And you know what? It started off a little bit slow, but they really turned it on at the end there. I think Jacob Gibbons really in second and third period played really well, and they had an opportunity to tie the game, possibly win it late. Obviously didn't materialize, but you like the fight that they showed coming back. And I guess kind of the big story is that Carson Rakoff gets in his first game with the Steelheads.
Yeah, he played really good. He played really well too. He was on a line with Porter Martone and Lucas Karmiris. And Luke Visa, again, he was out of the lineup again for the Steelheads. But, that line really played well. And you could see the confidence level. Like after those 2 goals, I mean, it was, 2-0 barrier at one point or whatnot. But after those 2 goals, the Steelheads looked like they were gaining confidence. And all the play, I mean, Barry again, they dressed a full lineup. I just got to go back to that again. I mean, Colbo, Dwayne, everybody was in there. Everybody. Right? I mean, their starting goaltender was in there for the whole game, Sam Hillebrand, a guy that's is a Steelhead killer and is probably one of the best goalies in the league right now. So, but yeah, they played that line played really well. I thought the whole team really pushed Barry to the limit. It seemed like a regular season game to me. Really good pace, but they just couldn't. A lot of the play was inside the Barry zone. A lot of the play. And, they showed what they could do with some of the guys in the lineup. And I'll tell you, when this is a full lineup, look out. I'm going to keep saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch when we get into the regular season. All right, we're going to take a break here on Saga 960 AM, and when we come back, we will have our special guest, Brampton Steelheads forward Lucas Karmiris. So stick around for that. You're listening to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. And welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Brendan Lang along with Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis, 2 broadcasters for the Brampton Steelheads here on Saga 960 AM. And now I'd like to welcome to the show Steelheads forward Lucas Karmiris. Lucas, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
There he is.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm doing well.
Good to hear. So how's training camp been so far? Of course, you got the 3 preseason games, but just how's everything kind of shaking out here so far?
Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, they're really pushing us to the limit this year, and I think that's a big step we're taking. Everyone's been working really hard, and obviously we have a bunch of guys gone now for NHL camps, so we're trying to keep our pace up here, and it's been going really well.
Lucas, what'd you do in the off season? You look like you gained about 10 pounds, and you gained about 10 pounds of muscle as well, and you got that muscle face going on. So what's going on, man?
Yeah, no, I obviously I worked out pretty hard, and took some time off too of hockey, which was nice. So a little bit of both. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited to get back, and everything's gonna roll in here. So
you said you took some time off from hockey. What were you doing over the off season?
Yeah, well, I went to Greece earlier in the summer, which was nice for 2 weeks. So it was my first time. And it was pretty cool. So a little bit of that, saw some concerts, Zach Bryan concert, which was really cool. And other than that, just training and getting ready for the season.
Did you go to the Acropolis?
Yeah, that was one of the first things we did actually when we went to Greece. So
did you see any scorpions?
No.
Okay. But just wondering, because I remember when I went there, going up the Acropolis, there's lots of the scorpions all over the place. But I guess they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in years, so anyways. Yeah.
All right. So getting into the season now, of course, there's been quite a few changes. Pretty similar, I guess, if you want to say the roster, but some big names coming in like Carson Rakoff and also Spencer Sova. So just who are you looking forward to playing with this year, and just what's your kind of excitement level going into the year?
Yeah, obviously those two coming in as big acquisitions for our team, and they're great guys, and they just help the depth of our team, grow even more, right? So I mean, playing with anyone on our team, we were really solid team, and a lot of great players. So I mean, it's going to be really fun, and I think that we all gel together really nicely, and those guys coming in, they fit right in like a glove. So it's going to be great.
I don't know. There's a buzz or something going on back there. I'm not sure what it is. Somebody has something in the microwave, or what's going on over there?
Notifications going. All right, there we go.
Oh, okay. I thought, no, that's okay. I thought maybe you had something in the microwave or something. Beep, beep. So it sounded like. But Lucas, you know what? You played on a line. I want to talk a little bit about the Barrie game. You played on a line with Porter Martone and Carson Rakoff. You guys seem like to really gel out there. So talk about playing with those two.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they're both really high-end players, and they're easy to play with. So I think that that was our first time playing together, and I think it went really well. We were finding open ice and making plays. So I think we play together more. It's just going to go. Well, obviously, chemistry is going to build, but yeah, I mean, like they're two real special players. So it's really good to play with them.
But that's going to make you better, though, right, Lucas? Like playing.
Yeah, of course. Those are the type of players that make anyone better on the ice. So I think that they would both make me better, and I think I can make them better too. So
right, exactly.
It gels again. Like I said, we gel together pretty well, and as well as other forwards on the team too.
And of course, this year being your draft year coming up, and I think we'll get into that a little bit as we're here on the show. But this past year, 5 of your teammates get drafted to the NHL. Were you watching the draft a lot, seeing where you guys were going, or what was that?
Yeah, no, I was watching the whole draft at home, and it was really cool to see them get taken. And obviously, that's a dream. And since you put on skates, you want to get drafted to NHL. So that was really cool to see for them. And even the guys who didn't get drafted, now they're able to go to camps to prove themselves. That's not draft isn't just there's more to it, and that's just the beginning in anyone's career. So I like that we have a bunch of guys now going to camp that's going to prove themselves. So I was really happy for the guys that got drafted. That's a great accomplishment in their career, and I'm excited to get going in my draft year now.
Lucas, you did a great job. You do a great job on the penalty kill. Like, you're great in all situations. At least that's what we see out there. You really, really, really turned your game on second half of the year last year. What did you work on in the offseason the most on your game?
Yeah, I think you kind of touch with all aspects, but I think the biggest thing for me was just getting stronger. Like, that's kind of my main focus. If I can come in 10 pounds heavier and faster, that's just going to help my game. So getting stronger in the building around that on the ice, that's kind of what I focused on.
And now, of course, the team's kind of moving, like last year and maybe the year before that after the trade deadline. It was a very young team, and now the team's kind of getting a little bit older, and you're one of the guys that has been around for a little bit now. So how do you kind of take on maybe a little bit more of a leadership role here moving forward with some of the younger players coming onto the roster?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's my 3rd year now, so I've been here for a while, and I think that it's kind of off my experience from my first year to now. I just kind of like to check in with the young guys, and obviously they're going to make the same mistakes I did when I was a rookie, and just kind of follow up with them and see how they're doing. And again, it's not an easy lead to come into, so just hopefully all the older guys are there to support them, and they've been great so far, and I think they've came in, and adjusted really well. They're all of our young guys, so that's pretty much what I look forward to doing.
Lucas, talk about the grind of the OHL. I mean, some people don't understand how much of a grind it is with school, with whatnot, coming home and practice, and you being 18 now. 18 now, right? You're 18.
I'm 17. Yeah, I'm
17, turning 18. It seems like you're 18 to me. It still seems like you're 16. But anyways, so talk about the grind. Talk about that. Talk about school. Let the people know what you go through a day in the life of Lucas Karmiris.
Yeah, no, I mean that's probably the biggest adjustment coming into this league. You can talk about obviously the pace and the players and whatever, but at the beginning, your first week in the OHL, it's that grind that no one really knows, right? So, getting up, especially school guys, you're getting up at 6 a.m. and you're going till 6 o'clock at night, right? So it's a long, long day. And, a lot of people don't really know what that's behind the scenes stuff of what we do, the workouts, the long practices, the back skating, the extra workouts, stretches. So, it's a long day, but you kind of get used to it. I remember when I was a rookie, like I'd get home at 6 o'clock and I just go right to bed. Like I'd sleep the whole night. So I'm a little better at that now. I like to take a nap or two if it's a long day, but
sure.
yeah, I'm not out cold at 6 like I used to be. So
I am. I am. I'm out cold at 6, 7 o'clock after about pretty much, and I put my phone on do not disturb. I don't care. And then the next day I look at it and that's it. Whoever texts me, well, whatever. Anyway, that's what I do. You'll see. It's going to catch up with you. Anyway.
And you're done high school now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does that change things now? You're going to be on the ice more during the mornings, and like, just so what does it look like now?
Yeah, I mean, it's now I'm still doing a little bit of online school, but nothing as heavy. You don't have to go in. So, yeah, you're really looking to develop your development ice in the morning, and it's kind of nice. I know me and a couple of the guys who just finished school are talking like this is a lot better, right? So you get to sleep in sometimes on the days off, which is nice, not having to go to school. So take advantage of it, but don't just take advantage of it and be lazy also, right? It's taking advantage of it and getting better. This is the kind of the years now where it's you're an older guy in this league and you have to pull your weight on the team. So I think all of our guys understand that, as the guys that are not in school, and we're not just now I'm not in school, we're not just being lazy about it, right? We're working extra time, which is good.
Yeah, that's you being. I still remember you being 16 and looking at me, and the first time you go, "Excuse me, do you know where the bus is?" I remember that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah. And I said, "Oh, it's over here," and you go, "Oh, okay, thanks." Anyway, it's just hilarious. But Lucas, you've been in the league now 3 years, of course. So tell me one guy that you look at him and you say, "Oh, I got to play this guy," a guy you despise playing against in the OHL. That's got your, you know what I mean? That's got your number. A guy you just like, man, like I just want to, I can't get this guy,
Yeah.
I
don't know. I don't really think there's a player I'm dreading to play against. I don't really put that mindset to myself. Like, there's no one.
Okay.
I don't think there's any there's no Arbor Jack guy in the league that's kind of
right.
So I know I've heard from a bunch of guys that was kind of the guy everyone was terrified of, but I don't think there's really anyone that I'm going into any game on any team and like, wow, we're playing this guy. So
good answer.
I wouldn't really say anyone really.
I love it. Good answer. A good answer. And that's why, you know what, you're tough, and I've seen you so many times. You don't back down, and I love that. So just to say.
So Mikey's talking about, specific players, but what about teams? Like, I mean, maybe not that you're dreading playing against, but like just a team that it's like, there's a bit of a rivalry there. Every time you go out on the ice, it's like the game maybe means a little bit more.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of teams in our division, I think, that's with. I think Barrie's probably one of them. That's probably the top. We haven't always done the best against Barrie, which, is something we're aware of, and we're going to bring it to the season. We play them a lot. So I think that's a team that, gives us a go, and we're ready for that. And, I think Brantford is also a pretty big rivalry as well.
Yep.
Those school day games where it was kind of break down to a bunch of fights in my rookie year. So it's kind of carried on ever since, and I'm sure it's been before that. So those are two teams that we go at it for sure.
Yeah, sorry about that, Lucas. I thought you were done there, but how weird is it going to be game 1 you're playing against Ryerson Leanders in Brantford? Or excuse me, in Brampton. How funny is that? I mean, your feelings about that? I'm like,
yeah, no, obviously we're sad to see Ryerson go, but
yeah,
he's a really good friend of mine. We came in together our rookie years, and yeah, I mean, I know he actually lives in my house right now. He's building in Brantford, so
yeah, very nice.
Yeah, just temporary. He's at my house, and I went home on the weekend and we were chatting a bit, and I know he's excited for the game, and so am I. So, yeah, it's going to be a good battle. He's a great goalie. He's a great person. So, I know a bunch of guys are excited to see him again. Obviously, seeing him in different jerseys is going to be weird, but, at the end of the day, we're going to go out there and we're going to try to win. So.
And in that kind of situation, who do you think it benefits? Do you think it benefits more the goalie that he's seeing you guys a lot shooting, or do you think that maybe it benefits you guys having to shoot on him all the time in practice? You kind of know maybe where the weaknesses are. Where does that kind of fall?
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. I think he knows what some guys like to do and some certain moves, but we also know some spots that might work, so might not. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we'll see on the 27th. gonna be the outcome.
I mean, you couldn't line it up any better, right? But anyway, Lucas, did you watch any NFL this past weekend?
I watch a little bit. I'm not big into football. I'm trying to get. I know our team's doing the fantasy league, so I hopped in that. I don't really. Me and Van Volsen, we don't know much about it, so we were like looking up on the draft, like what to do, like who should we take, what position. It was pretty funny, but
who's your quarterback?
I watched some of the Miami game, the Dolphins, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about football, so I'm trying to get into it.
You got to ask me. If anybody, you got to ask me. If anybody knows football, it's me. Even though I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, I know my football. I'll tell you that right now. But who's your quarterback? Just curious in the fantasy.
Joe Burrow.
Not bad.
Okay.
Okay. Who's your running back?
I think I had second pick, so I got CeeDee Lamb. I think that's that's my
guy. Yeah. He killed the Browns on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Anyway, good. Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
So if you're not a football guy, are there any other sports that you're following?
I like watch golf. I think that's nice to watch. It's just mainly hockey for me. Yeah. It's hard to watch soccer here. I don't mind it. I like to watch in the World Cup or like the Euros, whatever. But that's kind of not really on TV all the time here. So yeah.
All right, so let's circle back. It's your draft year this year, Lucas. Do you feel any pressure, going into your draft year? Are you just going to play your game and push it all you can do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously there's, it's a different mindset when you go into your draft year. Now the scouts are looking at you and this is your year. But, I've kind of trying to take as much pressure as I can off of it. Kind of just, every night, take it day by day. It's a long year. And if I can just go out every night and give the best I got, that's what, at the end of the day, everything's just going to unfold. And, if I can just do the best I do, then it's going to be successful anyway. So, like I said, I try to take all the nerves out of it. It's in the back of your head, but, it's going to affect my game even more if I just think about it every time. Right. So, I try to take all that out. So.
And how much does it help too? I mean, you have teammates who are in the same boat as you. Like, I mean, Porter Martone's another guy who's in his draft year, and there's a couple other guys too that they're in that same situation. So have you guys, talked about it at all? And just how much does that help having guys that are kind of in the same situation?
Yeah, of course. There's a bunch of guys. We have a lot of guys again in the draft year here. Martone, Ivankovic, Witkowski, Sherrod. Like there's a bunch of guys we got. So everyone, we like to talk about it, and but again, you don't really want to bring it up that much because at the end of the day, going into a game, it's to impress scouts, but it's to win, right? So we're not going out trying to toe drag everyone and try to get our name checked on a board, right? So I think that, we talk about it, and but we're also there to support each other. And, this doesn't really matter that much other than just getting the 2 points every night.
All right, Lucas, other than that, let's talk about this year, right? I mean, they've got a lot of talent coming back, of course, picking up two. We've talked about it a million times. Picking up Rakoff, Spencer Silva. Talk about this year, the expectations this year. How's the feeling in the dressing room? Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got really high expectations. I think we only want one goal this year, and that's Memorial Cup and the OHL Championship. So that's, there's no really other outcome that we're not going to be happy with any other outcome other than those two things, right? So obviously going out the last 2 years in the first round is not something we wanted, but I think there's a different vibe and mentality in our room right now. It's pretty hard to explain, but it's a good one. It's for sure. So I think everyone's really focused on what we can do this year, and we're going to make a big impact in this league. So we're excited, and like I said, it's a different vibe, and everyone's mentality is to win this year for sure.
All right, Lucas, just before I let you go, just wanted to ask you, I've kind of asked this to all the coaches and the players that I've talked to, but how's the move been so far to Brampton, and what's it going to be like playing in a new city this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I think they've done a great job with the arena and the dressing room, and they really catered it to the players, and we're all really happy with how it turned out. So we're excited to see how the fans are gonna be this year, and the arena's great, and we're it's not too far down the road. It's right there. So yeah, we're really excited to get things going here.
All right, if you're an NHL scout and you're watching this right now, or you're listening, this is the guy right here. He's going to have a big year this year, and you're going to get drafted this year, my man, and it's going to be a big year for you and the rest of the team. 100%.
All right. Good luck for the rest of the year, and thank you so much for coming on here. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Lucas.
All right, that was Brampton Steelheads draft eligible forward Lucas Karmiris. We'll be back after the break here on Saga 960 to wrap up the interview and talk a little bit more about what we have coming up here in training camp and moving on to the season. You're listening to Trout Talk on Saga 960 AM. And welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Brendan Lang, Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis, broadcasters of the Brampton Steelheads. Thank you so much for coming along with us here on Saga 960, YouTube, on the website, wherever you are listening to us. Thank you for tuning in. We just spoke to Lucas Karmiris, and Mikey, he's a guy that's going to be relied upon heavily this year. We saw it in the preseason. He was playing up there on the top line with Martone and Rakoff. We're going to see that combination quite a bit. Just a huge season coming up for Lucas, and obviously it's been a huge development since his first year until now.
He had 14 goals last year. Excuse me. And as we talked to him, and we both know that he really turned it on the second half of the season. I think a big part of his game is the way he plays the 200-foot game as well. He's so good on the penalty kill. He's so good at in his own zone. He's very good at anticipating plays as well, and offensively going back the other way. He could start the rush, no problem.
Yeah.
What really impressed me last year in the playoffs was his intensity, and he's got so much intensity. That kid, he's such a good kid as well, but he's got so much intensity. The way he played against Sudbury, those short-handed goals. I don't know if you remember those last year in Sudbury, and he just he put the team on his back a couple times, right? He's a quiet leader. I think he's a quiet leader out there now. Like he's very intense and he's all business, and he's going to have a big year this year. He's not the only one, but I anticipate him to have a big year.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the same page with you, and it's just the fact that he's relied upon in pretty much every scenario, like defensive zone faceoffs, offensive zone faceoffs late in the game. We know James Richmond really likes, after you score a goal, to keep the pressure on. He'd be a guy that goes out there after a goal to try to swing the momentum back. He's another name that would be called penalty kill, power play. Like, you're going to see him on the ice a whole lot this year, and I think that just kind of goes back to the trust that he has, that the coaching staff has in him, and we saw that kind of developing. Like last year was still kind of dubbed a development year for the Steelheads. And the year before that, after the deadline, it was all about developing. And we saw James Richmond and the coaching staff at that time putting him in those scenarios and making sure that he was ready. So now when the team is going to compete, he's already had those experiences. And I think that that's a big thing now that he's a little bit older in his third season here in the OHL. And he's going to be able to lean on that a little bit in these times where the games, they're going to be a little bit tighter. They're going to maybe be a little bit bigger. I mean, because if expectations stand up, and hopefully they do with this team, they're going to be playing in a lot of big games. So I think that, and you talk about the intensity and the poise that he has as well. Just talking to him, you can tell. I mean, you know that he's ready for those big situations.
Yeah, he's ready. I mean, it's just even keel. You can't really get you can get a vibe off Lucas if you're talking to him and stuff like that. But he's very even keel. He's very intense. He's very focused, and he comes from, like, again, I say this again, he comes from a very good family, and it's funny how he said that. Coincidence that Ryerson Leanders is living at the house, then his parents are billeting him. I think that's wow. Then they're good friends, of course. But anyways, you nailed it right there. Here's a guy that could play all situations. He's good on the face-offs. He's good on the penalty kill. I'll say it again. I mean, in the big situations, he's out there in face-offs, right? So I mean, and the luxury is, Brendan, that they could put him on that first line. They could put him on the second line. They could even put him as a third line center. Like, this is the depth that this Steelheads team has right now at the center position, right? Because, you got, he's a Swiss Army knife, as they say. So he could do lots of things, and he's going to be a big part of this team this year, and he will get drafted to the NHL.
Yeah, I think there's no question about that. I think it's really more of just a where in the draft he's going to be going. I don't think there's any question that he does get picked by a team. And I think, definitely like he was saying, seeing his teammates this year, 5 of them getting drafted, it definitely motivates you. You see those guys being able to live out their dreams of being drafted. And not only the guys that get drafted, he said too, that's not the end of it. There's other guys who maybe they didn't get picked, but they're going to training camps. They're still trying to work their way through it. So, I mean, seeing that with your teammates and your friends, obviously that's going to give you a little bit of motivation going into your
How
draft.
impressive. Yeah. How impressive is the 10 Steelheads heading to training camp?
I was good. That's a great segue. That is a great segue, Mikey, because we're going to talk about that. We got to talk about the Steelheads who are going to training camps. Like you just said, 10 guys from the roster are going to, yes, that's right, the most. So 6 of them were drafted, and then you have 4 other guys who are undrafted players that are getting opportunities to go to camp and prove themselves. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment for obviously those specific players, but the organization as a whole.
Yeah, James Richmond, when we had him on last time, he had more than the U.S. National Development Program.
Drafted
players, right? And invitees. Jack Van Bolsen got invited. Mason Zabeski got invited to camp, as well as who am I missing here, Brendan? Oh my goodness, there's like so many guys. Mason Zabeski, Parker Von Richter, he's going. I mean, and then you got the guys that were drafted. Oh, excuse me, we forgot about Spencer Silva. He's heading off to New Jersey Devils camp as well. But the guys are drafted as well. And how much experience are they gonna gain? Luke Misa, Angus McDonnell, Finn Harding, all these guys, Mason Zabeski. Just to say, and when all these guys come back from training camps, how much experience they're going to get and how much better they're going to be when they come back. And we've seen that with guys that have gone to NHL camps, they come back and they've gotten better. So 100% these guys are going to be, they're already good. They're going to be better.
Yeah, for sure. And then you've got a few guys that are going to, it's not their first NHL camp. Angus McDonnell was in an NHL camp last year. Spencer Silva's been to 2 different teams camps. Now he's going to New Jersey. He was in Toronto last year. Carson Rakoff, of course, a draft pick of Seattle. He was in camp as well. So, I mean, it's great to have this mix of players being able to go into this opportunity and get a chance. Like you said, you mentioned some of the names that weren't drafted, and Parker Von Richter and Jack Van Volsen and Spencer Silva, who are still going to camps, and Mason Zabeski. I guess those are the 4 guys there that are still going to camps without being drafted. And again, I think that's a huge testament too to it's, they still think there's a lot in those guys, these teams, to give them a shot in camp like this. And like you said, it's going to be a great experience, not only just going to the camp and getting the experience of playing, but being around the pro guys is such a big thing. And not just the pro players, but, you're around the coaching staff, you're around the habits of what happens in pro hockey, and that can only help them going forward.
Oh, 100%. I mean, look at Parker Von Richter. How much is he going to gain when he comes back? I mean, he's already gained again. Another guy's gained already like 15 pounds of muscle. And how good has he looked in the preseason, right? Yeah. He's looked really, really good. And not just him, everybody has gotten bigger. And that's where it comes with the age. But when they come back from the training camps, look out. I'm telling you. And look out. That's all I have to say is look out.
That's right. And we actually had Luke Misa on at the intermission in the game against Barrie. And we were talking to him about just kind of what the schedule looks like. They're going to go down there and they're going to play in the rookie tournament. I mean, think about how cool that is as well.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to play against, I think it's all the West, right? I think he was saying Edmonton.
He was saying Calgary, yeah.
Playing against Calgary. Well, he's Calgary. They're playing against Edmonton. Who else?
I think he said Winnipeg.
Vancouver in that too? Winnipeg,
yeah.
Maybe Vancouver's in that too. I'm not sure. Maybe all the Western teams are on there. But how good has Luke Misa looked? How good did he look in the before that and the rookie when he got invited there?
Yeah,
in the rookie camp, right? How good did he look? And man, and we looked at Luke Misa when we interviewed him, and there's another guy. He's just getting bigger. How do you like what Luke said too? Right? He's like, hey, I talked to Michael and we talked about the Memorial Cup and stuff. And I like what he said. He said, this now it's my turn. He said it straight up. Now it's my turn. You had your joy, and now it's my turn. But I love how they support each other. But good line by Luke.
Yeah, it was.
Love that guy.
And that's like the same sentiment that's shared by all the players. It seems like it's all about winning. Like every single one of them we talked to. Even when we were talking to Lucas there, he was saying, we were talking about his draft year, and he was like, yeah, obviously it's a big thing, but really it just matters about going out and winning. Like, the scouts are going to be there, but we just want to win. Like, that's kind of been the sentiment of everybody.
100%. And I go back to media day. When we interviewed all the players and whatnot, and talk to the players, talk to the coaches. You know what? The Lucas Karmiris said it bang on too. This is related to media day. He said there's a different kind of vibe right now. It's a good vibe, but it's a different vibe. You know what the vibe is? Because everybody's thinking about winning and going all the way this year. It's not, obviously they want to win. They always wanted to win last year and whatnot, and nobody likes to lose, period. But this year, it's a different mindset, and you could totally see it within the guys. And when we talked to the guys at media day too, how they were saying, we just want to win. We just want to win. This year, the mindset is a lot different. It's more hardcore. It just seems more intense. Still the same tight group. This group's always going to be tight. And Carson Rakoff mentioned it. He said, this is one of the tightest groups I've ever been a part of. And he said that about the Kitchen Rangers as well. This is a tight group, but this is just as tight, whatnot. So, and just like we said to James Richmond, and I'll say this again, these are the kind of teams, when you're tight like this, these are the type of teams that go far. I know it's cliche, but again, this team is tight.
Yeah, no, 100%. They really are. Before we finish things off, I just wanted to ask you 3 preseason games in, player that maybe stood out to you that isn't necessarily somebody who maybe we're going to see a ton of this year or that was on the team last year, but a new player that has stood out to you in preseason so far.
A new player?
Yeah,
you put me on the spot. You put me on the spot here, Langer. A new player. So a new player that they've. Okay, well, I'm going to go with Luke Dragusica.
Okay.
I got to go with Luke Dragusica. He scored his goal. I mean, he says it doesn't count, but in the interview, I said yes, it does. I said, so I go, you're going to talk about it in the interview. And so he was joking around, but he's a guy that impressed me. You know what? His toughness. He's gotten bigger. He's not afraid. He's still not afraid. And he seems like he's gaining more confidence in the preseason right now. And James Richmond's throwing him out there in the preseason with the big guns as well, right? So he's impressed me the most. His physicality, his shot seems like it's gotten a lot better, and his skating's gotten a lot better as well. So he's improved all around. I think he's a guy that's going to get better and better when the season progresses.
Yeah, I think he showed off. He's got some good offensive instincts as well in the offensive zone, and we saw that he almost scored 2 goals in the game. Actually, he had another chance there to later on in the game. For me, I've just seen the one game, but a player that really stood out to me was Martin Vasulik. I thought he looked amazing in that game against Barrie. I know we talked to James Richmond before, and then he was saying, he's kind of still getting used to the smaller ice, and of course, with the ice being not as wide and all that kind of stuff, the game's a little more physical in North America. But I mean, I thought he looked really good. It looks like he's got a lot of poise. He's got really good hands, good vision. It looks like he's a guy that I think will have a big year for the Steelheads in his rookie season.
Totally agree. That's a good one right there. Like his first game, he looked a little bit, shaky, of course. And as you said, he was, getting used to the big ice and whatnot. But every game he's gotten better and better. And his hands, his passing, my goodness, his passing is really good. And his vision of the ice is really good. Haven't really seen him take a shot yet, but his skating is really good as well. And that's another player, Brendan. He can make a big jump. I mean, I was talking to Sam, his name's Sam Turpich. And I messaged him when he got drafted. When he got drafted by the Steelheads and he decided to come over. So I messaged him on Twitter, and he's like a Slovakian Czech guy. He knows all the players down there. And he said to me, in a direct message, he goes, "This is a guy that can score 30 goals. He'll adjust quickly. He's a 30-goal guy. So and he's got great skating and whatnot. So you could see him getting better. So we'll see. We will see. So far, so good though, and you got to like it.
Yeah, and another guy too, if I'm not mistaken, that's in his draft year as well to the NHL. So you know they got a few guys that'll be in that mix as well. All right, Mikey. Before we sign off, do we have any life tips you want to go with? Bring your dog inside at night. That's one of them. We got that out of the way early on. Bring your dog inside at night, and just you know, in general, when your dog's barking, you probably want to bring him inside. That's one for sure, Mikey. You have the floor for anything else.
All right. Well, if you're a Browns fan, don't get mad.
That's a good one.
Don't get mad because you're going to have gray hair and you're going to have a heart attack. All right. Just keep it to yourself, because I used to go outside. I used to yell outside and in the backyard at halftime. What are you guys doing? I've had enough and whatnot. I don't do that anymore. So if you're a Browns fan or you're a Jets fan, or you're, you know, a team that's cursed in the NFL, just keep it to yourself and just, you know, just watch the game and go, well, whatever. That's what I always say. Whatever. Of course. And be positive. It's hard to be positive, but there you go. Life tip. Otherwise, you're going to have a heart attack.
There you go. Be positive. I like that.
There it is.
To finish off episode number 5 of season 2 of Trout Talk. We're getting down to it, Mikey. We got a couple weeks left, and then we're going to be starting off the season in Brampton for the first time.
Yes.
Going to be the Brantford Bulldogs and Ryerson Leaders coming to town. So we are definitely looking forward to that. Signing off here. We'll be on again next week, of course. I'm Brendan Lang, along with Mike Karafilidis, Mikey K, broadcasters with the Brampton Steelheads. Thank you so much for coming along with us here on Sunday morning on Saga 960 or wherever else you're watching this. Thank you so much, and have a great day.